Please welcome a man who found out on Friday he was back for another tilt at the title. This is his 18th Masters campaign. Winner of this season's English Open and twice a champion here at the Pally. He is back to his best. The Thunder from Down Under, Neil Robertson. His opponent, without question, one of the all-time greats. Runner-up on his debut at the Masters 3 decades ago. And here he is, emerging for a record-extending 31st appearance in the event. Twice a champion of the Masters, still delivering at the highest level. And I'll tell you what, he's walked way more than 500 miles in his glittering career. Here comes the Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins.
Choice, John, once again. So, up until the final itself, these matches are best of 11 frames played in a single session. Settle back until we get a worthy winner this afternoon. And calling it for us, it's hello again to world champion Stephen Hendry. John Parrott, all yours.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Hazel.
See, first frame.
And good afternoon, everybody. What an introduction that was. Brilliant atmosphere in Ali Pally. And it's been a brilliant atmosphere in this venue since 2012 when we first came here. And the winner of that particular event was none other than Neil Robertson, who, of course, had the late shout. Must have been a bit of incredulity with that phone call that he was actually going to be playing in this year's Masters. But he'd be hoping to grab that opportunity with both hands. And this venue itself, well, it's all been jigged round. Just over a week ago, it was Luke Littler who lit up the stage to be World Darts Champion. This week, it's Boys on the Bays, who's going to hit the bullseye this week and take the £350,000 and the coveted glass trophy. Well, I'm joined by somebody who knows very well what it's like to win this tournament, Stephen, and it's not the matchup we'd expected, but it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, without a doubt, this would grace any of the Masters for the last few years. And there's a lot of comments about Neil. He's got a free run at this now, but I think once you step into that arena, those thoughts go out your head. You know, it's the intensity of this arena. You can't just go out and relax and enjoy it. It's full on.
Actually hard to believe with the record these two have got that they've never actually played here. It's amazing, Neil. He knows all the stats, doesn't he? He knows everything, Neil, who he's played, who he hasn't. Bang on the button with that one. But yeah, very interesting they never played in this venue.
Neil took up his opportunity to have a knock on the match table prior to the start, and John didn't. So it might take John a couple of shots just to get used to the pace. It won't take any more than that. He's too experienced a player. Be interesting to see what kind of pace Neil Robertson adopts to his play this afternoon. In the UK Championship, he was at some points he was down at he was at 37 seconds a shot, average shot time, and that's not his optimum pace of play. It's not when he's at his best. So it'll be interesting to see when this match gets going if he is going to play a bit quicker. If he is, as many people are saying, this is a free roll at this tournament, you would think he would be more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with you, though, to some extent, Stephen, and it's all right saying you've had a free roll. When you get it, it's a different thing, isn't it? You're in this event, and you're here to win. And as I say, he's won it twice before, 2012 and 2022, so he knows what it takes to win in this venue. I also agree that he's at his best when he is playing quicker. Savage scorer, and he gets going. Pretty good reply. I think the feature with these two players, so adept are they at the tactical side that sometimes it's pretty difficult to force a mistake from your opponent. Well, that was a slight one, but doesn't look like there's any damage done.
Good safety shot from John Higgins, deliberately trying to cover the right side of the table, the escape, the easy escape back up to baulk. This left side of the table is fraught with danger, trying to get the cue ball back up the table. Might just be an edge of that red. If there is, that's what he'll be playing.
Yeah, this is an early test of your cueing, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely. Definitely flipped the pink.
John Higgins 6. The pink.
Yeah, a round of applause there because, of course, Neil openly admitted that's what had happened.
Okay.
Great thing about our sport. Although he won't be too happy where he's finished.
Big sigh of relief from the referee there. John Higgins made Neil play again from there and have the balls replaced.
Yeah, and it's even tighter this time than it was with the first shot. There's less of that red to hit. Don't fancy that shot. Very clever. Very clever. Like pushing first and hit it on the way back. Top of the table from John Higgins, so you know you played a good one. Yeah, it really is some place to play in this Alexander Palace. Started off 1,000, 1,200, it's gone to 15, 17, over 2,000 people in here now. Absolutely captivated. Has become the hottest ticket in town, and why not?
this week. We've got the best players in the world. We're going to see many, many century breaks and incredible pots, but we're also going to see some top drawer safety and, well, 9 minutes now without the ball being potted because of the standard of the safety play at the start of this match.
And this one's a bit more trouble than the others have been. No direct path up and down. Well, he could see the back one, but he's played that so well. That really is a good reply. Yep, we've got a couple of grandmasters here playing chess at the moment. And nobody's blinking. This really is good stuff. Yeah, wonderful again. Just shows you why they're in the top 16, doesn't it? Quality of the match play, outstanding.
Yeah, I might not have enjoyed playing this, but I can certainly appreciate it. It's absolutely wonderful skill involved in this side of the game. And I think it's something, along with break building and scoring over the last 10, 15 years, is the standards have just gone up and up and up. But that's the first pot. But there might not be a second.
Yeah, it's a good job it went in, because he didn't. I think he thought there was going to be a straight passage through that gap. And he got the priority, so he did pot the ball, in fairness to him, but the cue ball didn't go on the path he thought it would do. Just looking to see if he could get the cue ball over somewhere near the yellow, but it needs to be further across than that to stop the cut. Yeah.
Robertson.
So that stops the cut in the middle pocket. Well, may very well be a pot on in the corner here. Can he miss everything through the gap? And because he was thick, the cue ball didn't run back to the baulk area. Can John clip that one in the middle? Looks likely. Yeah, that should be pretty simple.
One.
And this is one of the features of this wonderful game. Can you score after you've been playing safe for the best part of 13 minutes?
Five.
Not an absolutely brilliant chance as it stands. Quite a few of these reds are blocking paths to corner pockets. So John came round, had a little look, and there's a surprise. Concentrating
Higgins,
so
5.
much on the cue ball, forgot to pop the object ball.
May be tempted to play a little cannon on the 2 reds that are just above the black spot here. You can get into the cue ball enough. Need to play it with screw, left-hand side. If he misses the cannon, you think the cue ball would still come out, go back up the table somewhere. Awkward cueing, as you can see. No, in the end, I don't know what he played. I really don't.
1. Sorry. No, sorry.
Yeah, that was one of those shots, and then no matter what you did, you had to pot the red. If you don't land on one, fair enough, but at least stay in the driving seat. But mistake made. So consecutively from both players.
One. Six.
Yeah, nice little simple shot that, but played in an area where there was 3 possible reds, 2 in the middle, 1 in the corner. As I mentioned earlier, not a brilliant chance this by any stretch of the imagination.
Seven.
That wasn't a very good shot. It's blue. It shouldn't be a problem, but first frame, it's missable. Cued it nicely. That one would have made him feel good. A nice stun run through. Controlled the cue ball well.
12. Thirteen.
Yeah, obviously that red does go through the gap.
19.
Pair of 2 reds stuck together. There's the gap you can see. But they're not brilliant, those reds.
20.
And you'd like to have that one again. It's not as planned.
Yeah, really to force the cue ball, and it's very easy just to put the slightest touch of unwanted side in the cue ball. That's what he did. He put a trace of right-hand side there, just turn the cue ball towards the cushion. The yellow being off its spot is going to help this shot going round of 3 cushions. I may have taken the opportunity to go around the
John
table, but
Higgins,
decided just to drop it in.
Do you know, I think he was between 2 shots and didn't play either there. He could have just dropped it in. There was a red. The 2 reds that are to the left of the pink, the bottom one will pot. I don't know whether he's just going to drop the blue in and take that red, or do your shot and go around the angles, but in the end he did neither. What a miss on the blue that is for John Higgins if he knew that was there.
Yeah, I think that's obviously why he played the drop in blue, because he knew that was the plant was there. So yeah, bad miss. brown is on to the yellow pocket. Well, I'm not believing this. That's a very negative shot for me.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, doesn't look like it's going to get any points, does it? It's going to drop some of the side cushion, drop on the 2 reds, and end the story.
Yeah, I mean, you can sort of understand it in a deciding frame or something, but you know, the shot was to pot the brown, surely, go into the 3 reds at the left of the table, and it's a chance to win the frame. If you are free rolling in this tournament, that wasn't a free rolling type of shot he just played.
Definite pot in the corner for Neil. I'm just wondering whether he can avoid the 2 reds that are near the top cushion. I think he probably can. So it's almost a shot to nothing, this. Slightly hampered by the yellow, because he's left-handed. Well, he doesn't fancy that one. Because he can't avoid the cannon, then there's my answer. Made the outside one, good pot.
1.
Yeah, it was a more positive pot, but could have done without the flick on the blue. It's just a awkward sort of frame this at the moment. The balls aren't playing ball.
Neil Robertson, 4.
I've seen a few matches like this in the UK Championship, which was also best of 11. The sort of first session of 4 frames were very, very cagey, and then the match came to life after the interval, near the business end. This already is shaping up to be that kind of situation. It's obvious the way the reds are. This frame's not going to be won in one visit, unless something incredible happens.
Yeah, and you've got to be a little more careful with your safety, because there's not really anything to hide behind. Yellow stuck on the cushion. You've got less cover because the blue's not on its spot as well. So you've got to be a bit careful. With an excellent shot from John Higgins. Yeah, this is the test. Yeah, if he can clip this in and leave the cue ball over there, somewhere close to that blue, there's a chance to develop some reds if this goes in. You see, he'd have been there, popped the blue, and he could have screwed over and tried to move the 3 reds. Well, that cue ball's finished would have been perfect.
One. Neil Robertson, 1.
Well, tried to be more positive. Didn't knock it in. Got a little bit of luck. Don't blame him taking this on. Just all the time you come into the table with an examination, just to say balls are awkward, but you can guarantee John Higgins is going to believe the cue ball. It's even more awkward for you. Just one of those frames, I'm afraid. I'd be happy to finish there. Where's the cue ball? Beautiful. Think, looking at where John is pointing his cue, that he can actually sneak past that green and drop on the red. Yeah, amazingly he can. Won't want to leave the clip into the other corner though, so has to judge this well. In fact, so well that he's quit on it. Quit on it completely.
Foul. And a miss. Neil Robertson, 4.
Yeah. What he doesn't want to do is overhit that. That's why he's ended up quitting on it. The one he's left is not nice. See, Neil just looking to see that if he puts John back in,
Yeah.
which he's going to do, he thinks that John can't get in behind that red, so he'll leave him that cut in the corner.
Sorry, John.
Let's just see if John Higgins' touch
Yeah.
returns for this one.
Yeah.
This is a really tough shot to get this absolutely dead weight. So he hasn't. He's given Neil a chance. And this is a big pot in this opening frame. Chance isn't that bad if it goes in. Two reds on the top cushion are now available, of course. Not easy, I know that, but one of them is. 20-point lead at the moment. It's pretty useful if John Higgins can knock this in.
One. Seven.
Played that well, actually. He would like to play for the black here. Just with the red next to the one he's playing. It'd be an easier shot to play position on the black when it's on its spot.
8.
And he's played that pretty well. Just would like possibly the cue ball a little bit further away from the cushion.
Yeah, I, like you, thought he might have got the butt in the air and stunned that in and play for the red on the top cushion, but he tried
15.
to drop it in and play on that red that he's finished closest to. But it's gone wrong. Maybe that shot in the middle wasn't on, but it would have been the better of the two, you would think. I mean, this is not particularly pretty.
Thank you.
If you're going to clip this in, you better get the cue out of the way quickly enough.
John Higgins, 15. One.
Well, it'd be some effort to win the frame from here, but at least Neil's back in it with a chance of getting some points, 34 behind. So imperative he gets a few with this visit.
He had the perfect angle on the black there to play for the red on the left
8.
cushion. Being a left-hander wouldn't, obviously not a problem. A little bit surprised he played for this one. Shouldn't be too difficult getting the right angle again.
9.
Yeah, that's fine. So he can stun the cue ball to the left cushion and leave himself a choice of both these reds.
And looking further down the line, of course, the great news for Neil Robertson is the green's off its spot. So if he can get in behind the yellow and just drop it
16.
in, the green's in a great spot. So this has just turned into a very good chance to pinch the first frame.
17.
Red on the left-hand side, as we mentioned. Neil's left-handed, should be able to get right in behind that. Done without
20.
that coming straight. Needed that cue ball tighter to the side cushion there, so he could drop the red in and get an angle out. But he hasn't got one there. Might have to be the screw back. Well, he couldn't have put that any better with his hand. Absolutely perfect. So stunning. Brown in behind the yellow, get right behind it so you can just drop it in. Cue ball as tight to that cushion as you can get it.
Sorry, 28. Thirty.
A little bit more difficult than he would have liked. A bit more distance. Good pot.
33.
And this particular visit will really hurt John Higgins. He had more than one opportunity to get the points that would have put him over the line in this frame. A couple of poor misses. Oh, what a steal this would be for the man who wasn't in the event a few days ago.
$37.
Oh, he hit that really well. Just blue and pink for an opening steal. If we can get rid of the fly.
$42.
Well, that may have took the best part of 37 minutes, and it was very tactical at the start of it. But John Higgins missed one or two he shouldn't, and that's an excellent clearance from Neil Robertson. He pinches the first frame, and he leads by 1-0. It's just all about competing and just trying to get past that man that's sitting in the other
Thank you,
chair.
ladies and gentlemen. The second frame. John Higgins to break.
Yeah, no value in taking that one on. It's going to be careering into reds and not knowing where the cue ball's going, so ideal dump shot. That was a very positive choice of safety. Obviously, couldn't have played to go in behind the green like that, but interesting shot he played there, playing thicker off the pack. The players would have been playing skinnier than that, but a very positive choice. Maybe that's an indication that Neil's going to try and open it up a bit more. Couldn't have hoped for the cue ball to land there, but he'll take it. Well, he did hit that red, but there's a gap through to the one that's closest to this black spot. That's the one he's looking at now, so it's a chance for Neil, this. And because of that positive safety shot hitting the side of the pack, the reds are more open.
Yeah, it was an excellent safety shot that got him this opportunity. And I think would he have played it that positively if he hadn't have won the first frame the way he did? I think that gave him a huge boost. It was a fantastic clearance. Just with the way the frame had gone, because both players, in terms of potting, had sort of lost their rhythm a bit with all the safety. It's not a bad chance this is in respect to the way the reds are, but obviously he wants to get the black back on its spot. And he may be able to do that here from this red, because this looks perfect.
I always think
3.
those little shots he's just played there on the yellow, really tough to judge when the cloths are so brand new. He's hit that really well to leave himself a couple of options. Very easy to have got into the cue ball there and overscrewed it.
Yeah, the two reds that are to the right of the black, the one that's closest to the right corner, that's just a little problem in terms of making it easy to drop onto the black. But it is the right shot. Well,
Neil Robertson, 3.
let's see that again, because he was on the walk to play the black. Let the red roll off a little bit. And you see, he was on the way to play the black.
One.
Yeah, can't work out whether that was a little bit of a roll off or he just took his eye off the ball, worried about where he was dropping the cue ball. Only he'll really know about that.
Seven. Eight.
And there it is. Well, it looks bottom jaw, but don't know where they did have a little roll, but it was always looking bottom jaw.
I think when he first struck the red, I think it was in.
Thirteen.
We've had a fair share of problems over the years with flying objects in this particular venue. Can't quite get going, John.
13.
Yeah, one year, remember the wasps he had, Stephen? That wouldn't have been any good for you. You'd have been like Usain Bolt getting out of here. Oh, this is interesting. Two reds, probably both pot in the corner. Positive strike required. Yeah, might be akin to a shot to nothing this. Just clip it nice and thin for the safety, but if you make the pot, great. No real value in the red on the left side at the moment. You can see black no good, pink no good from that side. You're having a look, but there'll be some shots to finish there on the black. There's an example of not wasting a shot. Pretty simple, wasn't it, to stick the cue ball in the baulk area, but look where he's put it. Absolutely glued onto the baulk cushion. Just making it much more difficult for the return for Neil. And so players get down and just chip the white down and think that's good enough, but not John. And because of that, he's almost forced a mistake. I say almost because even if John knocks the ball in here, well, there may be angle on this red here to stun over for the pink. So he's missed one or two so far today. In the context of this, 1-0 down, this is a big shot.
One.
Not perfect on the pink, but it just shows you that simple little safety of John Higgins just to get that cue ball glued to the bottom cushion. Could have made the difference. Not a gimme, this. Needs a bit of attention.
Seven. Eight.
Needs to take this chance, John Higgins, just for his own self-confidence and just to get himself sort of buzzed in this match. He had 4 or 5 scoring opportunities in the first frame, didn't capitalise. This is not a difficult situation where the reds are. Pink's on the black spot, okay, but it's still available. And once he clears this red to the left of the pink, it's going to be available to both corners, so this is a very good chance. It just landed a little bit short, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, what he wouldn't have given for another one more roll on that cue ball. Would have been a piece of cake just to pop that red and land on the pink. As it is, he may have to go back up into the baulk area.
$11.
So, take 2 for the same shot. Trying to get in there again. Didn't quite get into the cue ball,
13.
so it's not on that red next to the pink. That's the key ball. If you can remove that, it could be plain sailing, but didn't come far enough for that bottom red either by the look of it, so it's one in the middle.
$40. $20. $21.
I had the cue ball exactly where he would have liked in this frame, but he's doing very well.
27.
And he'll be absolutely mortified if he doesn't score enough points here to win the frame from this opportunity.
28.
Just that safety shot from Neil, just slightly too thick.
$34. $35.
this will settle John down. Like the boys were saying in the studio, you know, win the frame for Neil, settled into the match. Well, this will do the same for John here. Particularly with the nice cue ball control, not having to do too much series of screws and stuns.
41. 42.
I don't know if he was expecting just to brush off the pink with the cue ball there. There's a little bit more angle on this than he wanted. He wanted much straighter, just to drop on the open red. That's why he's had to play a cannon, and to be fair to him, he played the cannon perfectly.
48.
Yeah, that was frame ball all right. Should be the end of that now. But I agree, it was a little bit more in it than it should have been.
49. $54. $54 and a frame. John Higgins.
Neil Robertson stays in his seat. A much needed one visit win for John Higgins, and he levels at 1 each.
Neil Robertson to break. Quietly, please.
Yeah, need to settle down the crowd. Massive buzz. We're chatting away about that frame and what's happening.
Can you switch your flashlight off, please?
And one thing you can say, that no matter what happens, the table fitters will be out testing this table afterwards. Players have just got to mention it and they'll be out having a look. I think it probably did drop down, but it was never in the middle of the hole when it went. It was probably going to get left side. But anyway, Neil's reaction said that it did. But it'll get checked out. And that one didn't roll off. Must have been a horrible split second there. It's just off the near jaw, that Brown was. John's eye line, he must have thought he was just catching the front knuckle, but got enough of the pocket.
Six.
Well, I think he played for the red to the right of the black, but he has got the one that's above the black to the right corner. He's just looking to see where he wants the cue ball. He's going to have to be faced with a low black here to the left corner. On and off the cushion. He could risk screwing off the pack and playing for the black to the same pocket. He's not happy with either of those shots. He is playing the screw shot. Yeah, played well.
12.
Controlled screw shot. Played to perfection. Now he will play for the red to the right of the black. Make it available to both corner pockets. Good chance this. This is the more orthodox start to a frame in this match. Someone getting in with a nice long pot and straight in amongst the black spot area.
19. $20. 27. 28.
'Amazing record to be playing here for your 31st time, isn't it? Incredible. Just shows you how good your game's been and what your longevity in that game is. Incredible competitor. If you play the right shots all the time to a very high standard,
36.
this is what you get. Someone who keeps coming back year in, year out and competing in this venue.
Well, may have looked a good result. He has got a red, obviously, but the positional side of this is awkward because the black doesn't go to right corner. It's playing the easy red, so that's why he's looking at the thinner one now. But this goes in and it gets position. Should win the frame here. Yeah, nice touch. Yeah, and that red we talked about that rolled off for Neil Robertson, what it did do was just stopped his momentum because he'd made a great clearance in the first frame. He got in the second frame, looked like it was a great scoring opportunity. And since that miss, he's had very little table time.
48.
So momentum does play a huge part in these long frame matches. It can switch to and fro, but he certainly had it before that roll off.
$55. 56. 63.
So it would appear that John has certainly settled down into the venue again. Slightly cagey opening frame with a few misses here and there, but took the second frame, break at 54. And this has been vintage Higgins, masterful cue ball control. Come to the table with a air of inevitability that he was going to score enough here.
$71.
You can see this slight grimace after he played that. He wanted the cue ball to go past the red. He just brushed it into an unpottable position. And now, okay, he's mathematically over the line in this frame, but you want to pot one more ball. He misses this red. Neil Robertson comes back to the table, even though he needs a snooker. But it's safely in.
72.
And this has been Higgins' strength in his career. Everyone talks about his tactical play and playing the right shot. along with making clearances to pinch frames, his break building is his biggest strength. He's just a huge scorer. Always plays the right shot to keep breaks going. Goes into the pack at the right time. And this is, as John said, has been vintage.
78.
I think if you were trying to make a snooker player, this would be pretty much it. Tactically extremely sound, tremendous temperament, brilliant break builder. Put the curse on him.
Higgins,
Of course I would be. But what a fantastic break of 78 from John Higgins. He stepped it up a gear. He was 1-0 down a minute ago. He's not now. He leads 2 frames to 1.
John Higgins to break.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing because it sort of takes out a lot of doubt. You know, when you're playing some of the lower ranked guys, you're maybe waiting on a second chance, but you never really expect that with John.
There we go. This is the last before their interval.
Yeah, one of the all-time greats, without a shadow of a doubt. Match play genius.
Yeah, which makes it all the more disappointing, doesn't it? No disrespect to Neil, obviously, he's a world-class player, but if John had been up against Ronnie, another class of '92 legend this afternoon, it would have been some occasion. But it's not to be. I'm sure this is building up to be a top-quality match, this one. As I say, the first 4 frames can be a little bit tighter, but I'm sure after the interval, this is really going to heat up. That was a great shot. Judge it when the object ball is so close to the cushion. It's so easy to get the double kiss there.
Excellent reply, that was. Much more difficult now to get that cue ball back down into the baulk area. Plenty of obstacles in the way. May be able to clip off this red. And do just that. Well, it wasn't to be. Has he left anything? Yeah, funny little shot, just had to flick a load aside on it. And of course it pushed the cue ball out. Wasn't straightforward.
That's a question. Eight.
Yeah, plenty of red spread out. Black next to that red will pot. in the top right-hand pocket. So this is quite a nice chance, particularly for someone who's in stroke. So in the last 2 frames, breaks of 54 and 78. And with all his years of experience as a match player, he'll know this is a pivotal juncture in the match. If he can take a 3-1 lead into that interval, particularly after being 1-0 down to that opening clearance from Neil Robertson. So far, it'll be a good afternoon.
Yeah. 15.
Just requires a decent touch this to get the extended rest, just to stun this round the back of the black and the red for the black in the same pocket. So he's got to get into the cue ball. But not too much.
16.
Not always easy to judge them, particularly with the extra weight using that cue extension.
Well, if he's playing this top spin off 2 cushions for a red to left corner, these are going to be cued well. It's a shot you very rarely see missed thick. And it's always going to be missed to the right jaw, as we're going to look at it.
Yeah, it's just one of those. He's coming to the table, isn't he? And he's thinking he shouldn't have really been playing something this difficult, but can't find you out. Oh, you couldn't hit that any better. That's a proper shot right there.
23.
Beautiful piece of cueing that was.
Yeah, that was a real shot that every snooker player in the world would have appreciated that one.
24.
How difficult it is to cue it that straight, cue it that well.
Yeah, there's a slight groan from the audience there when he thought John wasn't on the black, but the pink was always going to be available.
30.
Not ideal that other red finished where it did, because it makes that passage to the one next to the black a bit more tricky, but that's why he's had to play the cue ball lower. Should be able to drop this in.
$31. $33.
Might get a little trickier with that bunch in a couple of shots' time. Yeah, don't blame him playing for this. If he could get on the black
34.
and play a little screw into the back of the pack, it'd be on the loose red. So he could have done with maybe another roll on the cue ball there just to make that easier. But if this goes right, we should bring more reds into play. As ever, get the pot. And yeah, because there was that
41.
little bit more angle, he couldn't really get into the cue ball there.
$42.
Yeah, not been ideal the last couple of shots, but he's still scrapping for position, keeping the break going.
Playing for the red on the left cushion here, I think. Again, a choice of 2 reds. If he goes too far, he's got the other red to right middle. That's the one he'll be playing. Not sure if pink's available
49.
to right corner.
$50.
Bunch isn't great, Stephen, at the moment. Which way would you be playing this?
I think he's just come off the black cushion. I think you'd be forced to leave yourself a red to left corner, probably going back up for the blue. If you can play for the black, it's a bonus. Yeah, I think
55.
back up for blue here. But yeah, they're an awkward. Those 4 reds, you want to be going into them from the black, not really from the blue. It's getting close to the stage of snooker's required. And the red and blue will put them 61 ahead with 75 on. So he's going to have to do something. Obviously that red's available on the left cush.
$56.
It's just one of those positions, isn't it, where it's awkward. You can't play in blue onto pink and red because it doesn't look like that's got any joy in it. And I suppose if you'd have gone further down, it's a big target off the green. But
Green.
as I say, wasn't it? It was a funny little bunch, that.
Felt like a little bit of a quick one there from John. Didn't really
59.
deliver the cue well. It's very risky if he takes the pot on the red down the cushion. I'd be very surprised if he does, because if you miss it, unless you can get the cover from that bunch of balls in the middle of the table, you're going to leave it on. It's going to stay over the pocket. So it's a safety shot.
John Higgins, 59.
Yeah, very useful 59. And we'll be trying to get the balls out in position, and John will be trying to mess them up. Stop that counter clearance. Just looking to see if anything is available. If he's changed his mind, he's not going to play the red or try and drop it in the middle, because if it could be the one he leaves. Too clever for that. See there, past 37 minutes, last time Neil potted a ball. Very easily happen at the level they're playing at. And he doesn't really want to play the similar shot John played here, where he screws off the 3 reds, because he's starting to mess the table up himself. Needs the cue ball and the reds to be up this end more for the scoring opportunity. He doesn't want to make this table look worse than it does already. What the pot that is, by the way. Goodness me. That was some shot. And the bad news is I think he's come bolt straight on the black. And there's certainly not much in it. Wow, he did well to get an angle out of that.
black was arguably a better shot than the red to land perfectly on this red to right middle.
Neil Robertson,
But
8.
is that little red miss there the reason why Neil Robertson is no longer in the top 16? Because when he was winning tournaments regularly, I think that was a chance he might have taken.
Yeah, he knew how important that shot was. Look at the way the reds have opened up. If he'd been on the black, those 3 reds wouldn't have been easy. Right next to it as the flies come back again. And as it is, he should have presented John Higgins with the 4th frame.
One.
Oh, first lance, not the best shot.
Yeah, the blind has managed to sort of derail his focus enough that to play a terrible shot positionally there. Landed basically in no man's land. Literally 2 or 3 pots away from winning this frame. He's rescued the situation pretty well there. It's about as good as he could have done.
6.
So, one decent pot here. Should see him go into the mid-session interval. 3-1 ahead. And it goes.
7.
Not done a whole lot wrong today, Neil. But the level you're playing at, that's always the case. You don't have to do a lot wrong. You're up against the best opposition you can be playing against. It's the top 16 in the world, after all.
13.
Still in this match, make no mistake. It's only early days.
John Higgins, 13 and a frame.
So that's enough for Neil. He leaves the auditorium. And I have to say, since that red rolled off in the corner, it's all been about John Higgins.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 5.
Robertson,
Neil Robertson.
fairness, hasn't done a lot wrong. John Higgins has been very good. From 1-0 down.
That'll do, thank you.
At this level of snooker, it's who gets the cue ball. The scoreline shows 3-1. It's far from over, this match.
He doesn't fancy it, so playing the safety shot off the main bunch. There's open reds there, so he needs a good one here. This looks a bit pacey. Safety play's been excellent so far this afternoon, but that one's got away.
Yeah, it is a collector's item. John Higgins mishits a safety shot. Shock horror. Does not happen. Certainly not by that distance. It's at least 3 foot too far.
Why is you screwing the cue ball there from that red? That in itself is a tell for me. Why not just playing for the blue or even for bolt colour? I mean, cue ball's ended up in a safe area. Strange way to play that for me.
Well, that's handy.
One.
It's actually slightly trickier than you think just to get this absolutely right. It's a horrible little shot. You've got to drag this. Make sure you get the cue ball there. And try and cover the one that's on the left-hand side. See that red. And it doesn't look like he's done that at all. I think he's missed the snooker and he's going to be down the book end. Yep, fabulous pop.
One.
And that was the one thing that I was taken away from the UK Championship when I saw John play in York. That was much improved. The long game was in very good order. Not just the long roll-throughs, the long stuns and screws were all working properly. And that's a big confidence boost for players when they start going in.
John Higgins, one.
The brown was available to right middle there for John. Andy had an angle to get the cue ball down the table, but the very easy snooker was just too tempting to give up. A lot of times when if you take the pot on the brown, in the back of your mind, I should be playing the snooker. It causes you to miss the pot.
Trying to drop on the red near the black here. And looks like
Foul.
hit the black first.
John Higgins, 7.
Well, John's got out of his chair, but I'm pretty sure he'll be going back to it.
Yeah, please, Olivier.
Yeah, if the red was straight along the cushion, he would have taken the pot on there, but because of the angle it was on it, he couldn't play for colour. That's the reason the cue ball's gone back. Yeah, it might take a little while just to get this absolutely right. Of course, Jan Verhaas, the referee, will ask for a bit of assistance, video assistance, just to make sure, because it is an important part, this. That
the black has to go to the left.
you have to get that gap correct.
Touch more. Yeah, and a touch towards baulk line. Yeah.
One.
Yeah,
The red
double
towards the
checking.
right hand side.
To me.
To the right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, either way.
Towards the side cushion.
Getting
more.
there gradually.
Quarter ball more.
Just
Sorry?
a quarter
Quarter ball more.
ball, yeah.
A ball more.
Quarter ball. Yeah.
That's pretty much spot on
That's
now.
about right, isn't it? Can you? No? Have a look at the white, please.
The black needs to come about an inch that way.
Cue ball is perfect. Black maybe.
Can you mix them?
Yeah. The black to a little bit to the left.
Yep, eagle eye. Robertson spotted it, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, red, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, Neil?
I think so, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
The white, yeah.
John, thank you.
So, pretty certain there'll be take 2 of the same shot. No attempt at the pot here, just up into the baulk area. Just keeping that pressure on. Such a hard match player. Well, I can certainly recollect it becomes debilitating when you keep coming to the table and all you've got is problems. That's what John Higgins does to you. Well, that certainly wasn't as planned. The question of whether he's left a gap he can get out of if he takes this pot on. Yeah, sometimes that's the type of shot that you know you shouldn't, but you concentrate more on not getting that cannon and take that little bit of percentage off the pot in itself, and you miss it. That looked like one of those. He feels as if Neil's got to start scoring a bit again, Stephen, hasn't he?
Yeah, this is an important visit to the table, I think, for Neil Robertson in this match. Playing a bit of a hit and hope, and well, he's got the blue to the right corner, and if it goes in, look where the reds are. Let's say this is a big chance, and a chance he needs to take to get back into this match. So since that red he missed when the table rolled off, it's been all John Higgins. And Neil Robertson in his prime, those were virtually a gimme with his cue action.
Oh, that's an excellent shot. It really is. Couldn't play that much better. Absolutely. Top side on the black, bringing the cue ball back towards the reds. Absolutely guaranteed we know his position is here, but main priority is ever knock the black in. Which he's done, and he'll settle for that all day long and twice on a Sunday.
8.
John Higgins will definitely sense a bit of frailty in his opponent's play.
9.
he would not have expected Neil to miss that blue. But he'd been delighted to see it. And now a chance here to really stamp his authority on this match. Just doesn't look to have the
60.
same aura around the table to me, Neil Robertson, the same confidence. That's one of the reasons why he's not one of the best players in the world at the moment. He's outside the top 16.
$24. 25.
And he's currently playing one of the greatest exponents of the game, who is brilliant at sensing weakness. As soon as he feels that's happening, he usually forces home the advantage.
33.
Slightly careful with the cannon he's going to play here.
$40. Thanks. 41. $48. 49.
Just a nice simple stun up through the gap between the two reds together and the pink. That'll leave all four available.
$56.
So just this red. Absolutely straightforward. Should put John Higgins 4-1 up.
57. $63. $64.
Well, if he's going to make a century, this is going to have to be a very good pot in the middle pocket. Dead weight. No, far jaw, is it? No, straight in the pocket. Beautiful shot.
71. $72.
So every chance we could see the first century of the 2025 Masters tournament.
$79. 80.
Yeah, it's taken his well, John, but it's slightly worrying times for his opponent, because at this level, you don't want your opponent to be getting in from your misses that are shots that you should be comfortably getting. Fair enough if your opponent creates his own openings with a great long pot or a magnificent safety shot, but to do this from kind of an unforced error will hurt Neil Robertson. No century break, unfortunately. But John Higgins is starting to take control of this match. He leads 4-1.
Yeah, looking very comfortable in himself at 4-1 up. His highest break of the match, and indeed the highest break of the match, 86 so far in that frame 5. This is frame 6.
Yeah, and I promise that if John looks like making a century, I'll just be quiet, because both times I've bocked him. Could have made a couple today, hasn't quite managed it, but he won't be too bothered. Breaks of 78 and 86 that look like being centuries were enough to see him over the line and do the important things, which is win the frame.
Well, if Neil Robertson is, as a lot of people have said, free rolling in this tournament, he's got to start playing as if he is. He's got to start throwing his arm at a few, and I think starting with this red, but he's not playing it. I mean, with his cue power, it's quite in his wheelhouse to pot that and screw the cue ball towards the left middle pocket, past it for a bulk colour or the blue. But he's continuing with this play that I don't think, in my opinion, is going to get him back into this match at 4-1 behind. I think he's got to change up a little bit. That containing safety shot Neil played is certainly not going to do anything to upset John Higgins' march to the line. He's very, very comfortable playing safety exchanges.
Another excellent pot from John. I'd be hoping he's on the blue.
One.
Well, hoping he's on anything. I think he may be on the blue in the middle. I think it's just sneaked past the yellow, but there's an excellent pot into a blind pocket. And indeed, you can see that blue.
Six. Seven.
Another beautiful strike. If anything, just a little bit too good. That's what pulled up to being on the blue in the middle. Yeah, amazing to think that Neil Robertson won that first frame. Brilliant break of 48 clearance, and since then he scored 16 points in the next 4 frames.
12. $17.
It just shows you how more difficult break building is when the black's out of commission. Having to play some really good shots just to keep this break going.
80.
Played that nicely. Left hand side. Now perfectly on the blue. I would suggest into the pink this time. The fact that the pink's there's a little bit of distance between the pink and the next red means he has to get it full ball. Try and keep that cue ball in the middle of the table. I refused it. And that does surprise me a little bit because
23.
you were never going to be able to get on this red nicely to get in the colour. Okay, there's a red below the pink also goes. Does he risk playing for the black here?
$24.
Yep. Take it from me, this is no gimme. Might be one you can play with a little touch of run inside and try and kick it down the cushion, but need respect these. Good shot.
31.
I think Mr. Allen in the studio might have had a little look at that black, the way it went in quite comfortably. There was a lot of chat that the tables in York played pretty tight. Okay, it's first day, the cloth's brand new, but that black could easily have stayed out. Said the red at the top of the triangle below the pink goes to left corner. So automatic position on it here from this blue. Just don't miss the pot.
This has been some break at the start of this.
37.
Brilliantly constructed. Yeah, you're seeing the full repertoire in this break. Slow drags. Everything happening.
It's one of those breaks, isn't it? It's a lot easier when you're 4-1 ahead. You just, for some reason, it just comes easy. You just keep potting balls.
45.
Even though it's the positional side of it's tough. If you're 4-1 behind, probably would have broken down already in this break. Just with the way it's been constructed. Nothing's been perfect. And another great pot to keep it going. And this time he is perfectly in the black.
Well, he's made a few breaks this afternoon already, but I would suggest at the moment this is the best of them by far. Wow.
53.
Played a lovely little cannon there. He can consider himself a little cursed not to be on something better than that. Yeah, for all the world you thought you'd land on something easy, but he hasn't. I mean, he's looking at an extended spider to pop this red in the corner, but oof. Far from easy. Just cueing it is difficult.
Doesn't like it. Just wondering if he fancies... Oh, he has gone back to the other extension. I just wonder if he fancied a double, the red closest to the pink, but try and play it in some way you wouldn't leave a red on. But he is content on playing this.
Very difficult to judge this. What a shot. What a shot.
Okay. $54.
Yeah. And no prizes for guessing where Neil's going to be. It's important, even if well, he's looking at it, but it's important if you're going to tuck in behind anything that you block off one particular path to the reds that you're looking at. Well, he's decided.
John Higgins, 54.
Not so sure. It's neither one or the other shot, that one. If you're going to play that, at least get the yellow safe, but he's not done that. That was very un-Higgins-like, that shot. It was almost like he hadn't made his mind up.
Yeah, I think sometimes those situations you can outthink yourself. I think just tucking up behind the yellow was the simple shot. He can get to this red to the right corner, but now the situation at the table, there's pressure on it.
Yep, that long game's back, all right. Make no mistake. Another excellent pot. At the moment, he's a passenger in this match, Neil Robertson. Just can't get involved. Got to try and change the narrative somehow, but easier said than done when you're playing this man. You think, oh, I'll open the balls up in the next frame and give myself a better chance, and you stick one up and you just sit in the chair, so it's never that easy. But he's got to try something, because at the moment he's been outplayed.
$14.
He'll be trying his best here just to drop this in. One thing you don't want to do is have to play any snookers or extended frames, so that's an excellent pot. That definitely puts the nail in the coffin for this frame. It's outstanding match play at the moment from John Higgins, that's for sure. The break at the start of this frame was wonderfully constructed. And he's looking stronger.
22. $23. Thank you. 25. $26.
Tell you what, this will be a good shot. Digging down into the cue ball, getting the cannon. Guess what? It's a good shot.
33. $34. 39. $41.
Well, you wouldn't say Neil Robertson's had loads of chances in this match, but he has had chances, and at this level, sometimes it is only 1 or 2 chances you get, and you've got to take them. He hasn't. And now he's on the brink. 1 or 2 shot choices that I think could have been different to try and get back into
48.
this match. As I say, I don't think he's going to get back into it by trying to beat John tactically. And John is just basically going through the gears now.
53. $59.
So early a break of 54, and this 66, and a pretty much near perfect frame of snooker from John Higgins. Not much Neil Robertson can do about that. And boy, has he got a mountain to climb, because John Higgins now leads by 5 frames to 1. Looking good. Pretty good indeed, to say the least.
Neil Robertson.
So take 2 in frame 7.
Straight away, the players don't like to see that black tied up from the break off. It's a good cue ball.
Yeah, generally in the past when we watched top-class snooker, when anyone's come from 5-1 down to win or 5-2 down, etc., they usually have to play unbelievable no-miss snooker and need a bit of help from their opponents. And if you're playing anyone who's least likely to give you any help, you're probably looking at him.
Could be deja vu here.
Yeah, once again, similar to the last frame, that red that's in the balk area is going to cause havoc. Nobody can play down in that area now. So cue ball will be kept up this end. At the moment, it's not that simple just to get safe for John, unless he just rolls up behind this red. It's above the black. That's about all he's got.
couple of reds available here to the far left corner. This one he can play with an element of safety. And then just chose to play the safety shot. He's left a tempter for John to left middle. It's fraught with danger, obviously, the way the reds are situated.
Yeah, absolutely no need to play this, of course, if you're John Higgins. You're not the one chasing the scoreboard. Yeah, that's as good as anything.
Good cue ball. I think he may have stopped Robertson playing a similar shot. Getting that cue ball so close to the cushion. You can see the state of the table. The next mistake, whoever makes it, could prove very costly. Neil Robertson's case could be the last mistake he makes in this match.
I mentioned in the last frame, he's only scored 16 points. Well, he didn't score at all in the last frame, so he's from 1-0 up. He's actually only scored 16 points in the entire match since the opening frame. Someone said that about Neil Robertson, you'd never have believed it. Just shows you how good John Higgins has been. Well, doesn't think there's anything other than taking on a speculative plant in the middle pocket. That's what he's looking at. This will be some shot. Look at the distance between those two reds. And it's not directly into the pocket, so this is definitely not a gimme. That was possible to miss that red. Obviously, just cue ball watching John Higgins there. And Neil Robertson, what have you got left to give in this match? Yeah, playing to spread, lovely. And I feel as if he is going to get back in this, he needs to pop these with fluency. Play with a bit of pace, some tempo back. Well, it's not been easy today. He's been second best for most of it, but try and at least get back to what you do best. Because when he's at his best, it's very fluent and very quick.
No.
Yeah, good idea to get that blue back
30.
on its spot. Just give you a couple of options. Not too bothered about the pink being where it is, but blue and black will be handy for the break to continue.
$14. 20. $25. 26. 31.
The way the Reds were at the start of this visit, it was very difficult to actually get out of position because they're just all over the table. You just got to keep your concentration. But 5-1 behind, nothing's easy.
37. 38.
But matches have turned on more difficult misses than the one that John Higgins just did.
43.
Who knows? If Neil Robertson can get up a bit of momentum,
44.
win a couple of frames in one visit, he could be right back into this match in no time. At the very least, just put a bit of pressure on his opponent. But that's a shocker.
51. 52.
Followed by that, which was excellent.
Yeah, that was as good as the previous shot was bad. And I like the fact he just got down and played it. Didn't hesitate,
57.
just committed.
$58.
Yeah, slightly overscrewed it, but
62.
this red will do it, you would think. And it goes. Good shot.
63.
Surprising miss from John in the middle, that. Obviously it was slightly more difficult than we could see from our commentary position, but you still would have fancied him potting it the way he's knocked everything else in today.
Neil Robertson, 63.
Well, very good 63 break, that's for sure, but John will play on. Obviously no attempt at the pot there, just trying to get the reds back down towards the black area. 59 behind, 63 on. So John wants those reds down in the black area. Never really feel like you're safe when you play somebody like John Higgins or a Mark Selby when it comes to needing a snooker. You just always get that feeling that you're just not over the line. So Neil will know that, to be careful. Excellent. Good long pot. Well, we had a mountain to climb, 5-1 behind. But at least
3.
He's made the first step.
4. $11. 12. 19.
So that surprise and miss in the middle pocket. And then Robertson made that excellent break. And it's enough for John
19
Higgins.
in the frame.
He said he had a mountain to climb, at least near Robertson's left base camp. He wins a frame, and John Higgins leads by 5 frames to 2.
Yeah, John Higgins still a very, very strong favourite. But he has got history in failing to clinch a match against this player. 2022, final of the Tour Championship, 9-4 ahead, lost 10-9 to Neil Robertson. So there is some history there. And you're in John's position, you want to win the match as quickly as possible. Another one of these, we call them dump shots, which can so often end up in a stalemate for a while at the start of a frame, sometimes ends up in a re-rack. Red goes up to the bulk end of the table, and there's very little options really, other than bringing the cue ball back to the black cushion. Oh, John's determined not to get embroiled in that, so taking a slight risk here, playing the cue ball to the bulk cushions. Always a chance of leaving some sort of pot in this red.
Well, you were right. What a pot that was.
Six.
Well, I can only assume the black does go. In fact, he's pointing the tip of his cue at where he wants to leave the cue ball here, so this is a good chance to score again. Straight off the back of winning the last frame. So trying to get up that little bit of momentum. Keep John off the table.
7.
Yeah, I think he's left himself a tiny bit of angle. Stun this in. A couple of options, but I just wonder if we can just force this. Well, forced it through the gap.
$14. $15. $22. Thanks. 23.
Yeah, certainly up the tempo, hasn't he? Running around the table at the moment. Actually, watch this man playing two of the most incredible matches in this venue. One of them with Judd Trump, the 6-5 match where he actually lost. Judd potted a ridiculous red in the last to beat him 6-5. It's one of the greatest games I've ever seen in the best of 11. And he beat Ali Carter here one year, and it was unplayable. Ali just didn't see a ball. It was absolutely incredible. So when he gets going, this fella, he is seriously good.
38.
Well, when he plays like this, he's intimidating as an opponent. When he's playing negative shots and walking around the table and looking at everything, he's not intimidating. It's as simple as that.
$44. 45.
I think sometimes you can get lost between trying too hard not to lose and actually playing your natural game to just win.
Robertson,
Well,
45.
was that plant always on? Or was that very, very unlucky?
Sorry, John.
Very unlucky.
Not only did it go in, and you've got to sit in the chair, it's a real momentum stopper, that one. He was absolutely flying along there.
One.
Well, I'm just thinking if you're in Neil Robertson's chair, he lost one frame, the second frame, and the table rolled off, and then that bit of misfortune. Okay, John Higgins at his brilliant best. You would almost say this is match over. But as we've said, the last 2 or 3 years, he's not been quite as convincing getting over the line, but this is a chance to win this match here and now. He'll know it. Okay, he's got to go into the 4 reds. But if he gets the right angle on the black, that's not too difficult a shot.
7.
That's not a good shot. Okay, he can play for the loose red. I think he'd have much rather been going into the 4 reds at this point rather than leaving it to the last moment.
Lost the cue ball. I mean, I agree, Steve. The shot
14.
before was the shocker. I mean, it was such a simple shot to leave half ball on the black. And because he wasn't on the angle there, he's overscrewed that one. And this is a horrible shot. It's cut back into this corner. Not nice at all.
That last black
Higgins,
for me was a nervy one. The fact that he overhit it by so much, it screams like just a little bit of a quick delivery. And if you're Neil Robertson, you take a bit of satisfaction from that, although has he been left the red?
Absolutely not. He'd have been down, jumping all over that if he could see it fully. I mean, he may have to just try and play a swerve just to pot it and then take the points. Don't have to be too adventurous with this one. Can't see how you can really land on the black with the side you're putting on it. Well, that's as good as anything, really. Get yourself out of trouble. Yeah, nothing wrong with that shot. Mr. Brown say 25-point lead. Needs to get a counter clearance.
Could take the red onto left corner, play with a load of right-hand side. Check the cue ball, take it up in a straight line. The only thing he's worried about, if he misses it, does he leave it over the pocket? Well, in the end he played it plain ball, which was... Well, if he'd missed the pot, it was a little more dangerous. The cue ball could have collided with other reds there, but great pot.
Yeah, all of a sudden, all departments are in working order. Got to knock this in. Important. Moving the brown away. Good pot.
Six.
It's funny how every pot seems to be going bang into the middle of the pocket as well. You can hear the leather. It's just a totally different strike at the moment from Neil Robertson. Not more positive.
12. Neil Robertson, 19.
It was interesting that Neil didn't even attempt to play the cannon out on the red with the last shot. Just took the points and played the safety shot.
I assume he thought John was going to concede.
Yeah. Now he's thinking otherwise.
I'm thinking one of the reasons John has played on is just where the yellows ended up as well as obviously the black being in a good position for snookers. Yellow's gone in a good position as well. Plenty of room around this red. Nice, good hit.
Played it one way and got it another. Trying to stick in behind the ball colour, but got second prize. And at first glance, not a bad second prize. Good pot, and that's the end of that frame. So Neil Robertson, all of a sudden, from 5-1, it's 5-2, and now 5-3. And when you're playing at this level, with the players as good as this, it's all about who's got the cue ball. Matches can change very, very quickly. And there's a fluency and an authority of strike on the cue ball from Neil Robertson at the moment. That looks like he's not going to go out with a whimper. Beautiful shot, running around the angles. Look at that. Excellent.
14.
Well, half an hour ago as Neil plays a trick shot round the angles. He was 4 behind. Now it's only 2. This match is getting warm.
Tour Championship a few years ago when this man gave chase and indeed overhauled John Higgins, and I'm sure that that is playing in his mind, if not John's right now. Back we go. This is frame 9 of a possible 11.
Yeah, and I always think with scoreline like this one, 5-3, he won't be getting overly excited just yet, but if he gets 5-4 he will be, because he'll be breathing right down John's neck. Wow, what a pot. Once again, it looks like he's off. Pretty good chance this. Plenty of reds open. Certainly to score a few and get your nose in front in the frame by a few points.
6.
6, 7 reds available.
7.
And momentum. That's the key at the moment, because that's what Robertson's got.
Twelve. 13.
Yeah, the whole demeanour is completely different. The facial reactions, the speed of the walk around the table, the speed of shot choice. It's completely different to the player that went 5-1 behind.
May have to be a plant after that. Wanted the flick just to move that red away, and that happened.
20.
And there's a bit of distance between these two reds. Shouldn't be the hardest shot in the world, but He'd love to get it, keep that momentum going. Nothing else.
I'm just thinking if he does play the plant, does the first ready hits block the pocket possibly? I don't think so. Yeah, you can see it. It has blocked the pocket, so that's why he's gone up for the blue. Different sound to the strike all of a sudden. It's more crisp. It's getting the reaction of the cue ball.
26.
Yeah, he's definitely become mentally uncluttered, hasn't he? It's only about potting the ball and getting on the next one. Boiled down to that. Not thinking about the consequences or what's going on out there. He's just potting balls.
And he has, as I mentioned earlier, got good memories from, say, that final they came back to beat John. These things stay with you.
33.
They also stay with your opponent, which can be even more beneficial to Neil.
34.
Cue ball's got to travel here. And that's just made the journey. It's gone past the blue.
And it's a wonderful game, isn't it? And Higgins just sitting there. All he can do is hope Neil breaks down. So no problem with the next red
39.
and colour. Again, it starts to get a little trickier after that.
40.
Tremendous cue power. Absolutely tremendous.
47.
Watch this cue ball go in and then take off again. I mean, to get through the cluster, that must have been struck beautifully. 4 reds there, and the cue ball managed to force them out. He will absolutely kick himself if he doesn't win the frame in this visit. As he's got these in a wonderful position, he's manoeuvred them perfectly. That red in the middle pocket was a superb shot to start the break. And since then, this has just been like he's playing in the club. He's almost running round.
$59. 60.
It's amazing the psychology of snooker. John Higgins, in getting that 5-1 lead, basically looked like he just needed to stand up to win frames. It was that easy, that comfortable. Now all of a sudden, winning that elusive
65.
match-winning frame seems so difficult.
66.
Certainly wiped its feet.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt, said Neil. It can be
74.
very disconcerting to play against as well. We've all been there, Steve. Number had a lead like that and someone just keeps coming back, and it seems every time they come to the table they've either made a chance or forced a chance, and it's just so difficult to stop.
Yeah, with Neil making that little quip to the audience. Your opponent looks like they're starting to enjoy themselves out there. It all adds up to the annoyance and the anxiety in John Higgins' seat.
Yep, and he's got
18.
from Neil Robertson's point of view. He's sort of been freewheeling a little bit.
90.
Thinking, well, maybe I'm out of this year's championship. At 5-4, he's going to be thinking anything but that. So can he maintain this tempo and fluency, an uncluttered approach when he's getting near the winning post?
97.
Going to be fascinating to watch.
$98.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and thoroughly deserved. What a break this has been.
104.
First century of this year's championship, and a very important one for the Aussie.
106.
And boy, is he taken these well. I think there's a few people in the auditorium, Stephen, who are getting ready to book the taxi.
109.
They're not now.
$113.
This has been a wonderful break. The sound of it is just so much different.
$118.
An absolutely wonderful break. The pin doesn't go in, but nobody cares about that. And both players are about to leave the auditorium. What a match this has turned into. We all thought it was over. It's not yet. John Higgins leads by 5 frames to 4. Yep, I do, Hazel. And I can tell you, it's a lot easier in here than it is out there. Both boys will be going through all kinds of emotions. And the interesting part here for me is, can Neil Robertson maintain, well, the carefree way he's been playing just to get back in this match? Can he keep that going right through to the finisher? Well, there's one of my answers. What a pot that was again. And not the worst kiss. Fabulous.
Fine. Six.
Well, I mean, you can count 4, probably 5 reds that were in the open there, but decided to play ultra aggressively. As much to bring pink into play as to be on a red.
Maybe that one in the middle. He's finished actually a little awkward, hasn't he? It's not great for any of them. Well, this one does pot in the middle.
12.
He's played that superbly well.
$18.
He's playing at a great pace now, and it's still very important to stay composed even when you're playing at that pace. Not to get too overexcited and think ahead. You've still got to play each shot and give each shot its due care and attention. But don't let up on the way you're playing in terms of the pace. Because it is literally 2 different players we've seen this afternoon.
25.
Yeah, year in and year out, you come to this event and you expect to see lots of 6-4s and 6-5s. There's so little between the players, but I must confess, when it was 5-1, I couldn't see this happening. It looked like
26.
a very comfortable afternoon for John Higgins. But at the moment, it's proven to be anything but. Hasn't done a lot wrong since he went 4 frames ahead. This is the level you're playing at. Your opponent gets the cue ball, there's just nothing you can do.
32. 33. 39. 40. 46. 47.
'Yeah, that was the potential there, just to go wrong if he can in that red.
52.
He'd like to not had enough as much angle as that on the blue, so he could have just dropped on the red that was above the black, but couldn't do it at the angle he had. And now that cannon's come about. Will that be end of break? Incredible. Absolutely incredible what's going on here. An absolute exhibition of potting. Basically refusing to leave the table. Yeah, pretty obvious that red doesn't pass the brown into the what we call the yellow pocket. Otherwise he'd just be dropping one in and playing that red, but that's not available. So we saw him line up with his cue there. Must be one of the 2 reds on the right.
$59.
So you would think one good piece of cueing with that extension on his cue should see him home in this frame. And it goes.
60.
Beautiful. The quality of his cue ball control and his cueing has just been, well, as good as Neil Robertson can hit it.
It's incredible. We've had 2 shots in this
66.
match that have completely changed the momentum. The first one, second frame, Neil Robertson, the red
67.
rolls off, goes 5-1 behind, then John Higgins misses that easy red into the right middle and has basically sat in his chair. He's had 1 chance since then. Incredible how 2 shots can have such importance in a best of 11.
73. 74.
Yeah, and in 4 frames in the middle of the afternoon, Neil Robertson scored 16 points in those 4 frames. And since he's gone on this run, John Higgins has only scored 21. The turnaround is incredible. Well, he
80.
can't pop one from here. If he pops one from here, I'll never believe it. Oh, cushion first, bit of run inside. No, stop it. I told you he couldn't put one from here. Absolutely brilliant from Neil Robertson. What another wonderful frame of snooker. The crowd are giving him a standing ovation. I don't blame them either. What a fantastic frame of snooker that was. We thought it was all over at 5-1. It's not now. We're in for a final frame decider. Neil Robertson levels at 5 each.
A few short minutes ago, it looked like John Higgins would be striding into the quarterfinals, but now it's all on this final frame. Will it be Robertson or will it be Higgins?
Yep, that's what you get in this fabulous venue and in this wonderful tournament. Throw the top players into the melting pot and you end up getting matches like this. Best players in the world, without a shadow of a doubt, and they can throw up some surprises, some shocks and some wonderful snooker. What a pot.
A trademark John Higgins mannerism there, the sort of lick of the lips when he pots a shot like that and senses an opportunity. How he would love to get on that red to the right of the black. Clear that black to both corner pockets. That's 3 or 4 shots ahead, I think. May go into the bunch before then, but that'll be in the back of his mind, that red. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
3.
I say that he's just not on the top red of these two, the left-hand side one. If he's going to play the other one, does he have to play a cannon, or maybe he can just squeeze through? It's tight.
Four.
I just played it with just the slightest trace of right-hand side there.
Boy, you've got to be tough to play this game, haven't you? He's absolutely sat in his chair and he's been
11.
unable to do anything about it for the last 4 frames. And what an opening pot
12.
He's come out with there.
Yeah, that's probably why he feels and looks actually okay, composed, because he knows he hasn't had a chance in the last 2 frames. He's done nothing wrong. And so he's had no scars from the last 2 frames. He's got a clear enough mind out there at the moment. And how many times has he done this in his career? Deciding frame, potted a long ball, and made a frame-winning break.
20.
Yeah, his turn to look on. What we can do, I hope he's going to get back to the table at some point.
He got in first in the deciding frame against Judd Trump in the UK Championship. Just wasn't able to score enough points. And then Judd pinched it.
27.
We're hoping that doesn't happen again.
$28.
There's a red below the pink. I'm sure goes to left corner pocket.
$35. from Higgins. 35.
Thought it was worth the risk. And if you hit the top bump, unfortunately, you tend to stick them up.
You know, is this going to be a carbon copy of that decider against Judd in the UK?
One.
Match time just sneaks past the 3 hours, but as I mentioned earlier, we didn't think it was going to get anywhere near that. But the turnaround has been remarkable. Neil just needs that to run a touch, and it has.
5. Six.
There's a red in the middle of
13.
the 5. It is available to left corner. This is going to bring everything into the open.
14.
Okay, could have done a slightly better cue ball. Closer to the cushion he would have liked, and looks pretty straight on the black.
Yeah, first glance you think he might have to just pot the black and try and pot the red in the middle. Not easy. Doesn't look like he's got much. Mind you, he had a shot similar to this earlier on and he forced an angle out of it. Looks like he's going to do the same again.
21.
What's he on? Has he got the gap? If he's got the gap for the one in the middle, that'll be a result. And he has, you know. Yep. Far from easy, but it's on.
Didn't try to do too much for the cue ball. As you see there, it wasn't the easiest of pots. Didn't try to get low in the black. Just made sure of it. Again, this is not ideal in this red
29.
to right corner.
Not absolutely in control of the cue ball here either. So.
$35. 36.
Yep, looks for all money like those two reds. Near the side cushion, one below the middle pocket, one above it, are going to be the key balls. No reason why these next two reds won't be dispatched, but it's the last two that are going to be the interesting ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking if he gets in the right angle in the red that's next to the pink spot, you could take that red off and leave yourself
44.
on the pink. Can't really get that angle from where he is now. He'd like to be putting the red into the left corner. So he's taking the cue ball across towards that red, just below the left middle pocket.
Well, one thing you can say is the red, well, both of them indeed, are okay for doubles, if that's all you can do with them. All to be revealed.
$51.
So there's an angle to try and move the first one. Very important cannon this is.
$57.
Hit that harder than I thought he was going to, because if he'd made contact with the red, would he been on it?
Yeah, the other thing as well is if you do miss the cannon and you're not as hard, you might have the double on the other one. But where he's finished now, neither of those shots is available.
Robertson, 57.
But an excellent 57 break in reply to John's 35. Yeah, I mean, I know he's been potting everything, but he wasn't going to go for that one. Surely John's not thinking of a cross double. Yeah, the trouble with that is it's taking the red or the cue ball towards the other red, so I don't think that shot's on. And the last thing Neil will want to do is to move that red that's below the middle pocket, that one near the side cushion. You won't want to touch that at all. Got a 22-point lead. Doesn't really want to remove that off the cushion because you leave yourself open to a clearance. Trouble is, what can he do with the one he can only half see? Yeah, looks like he's forced her into it. About as good as he could do. Tell you what, Stephen, as well, I hope it doesn't come down to a black ball fight. Look where that is. That would be nasty. Yeah, very good pace there. That was all about making sure the object ball was safe. If we got a good cue ball, fair enough. But it was imperative to get that red safe. So played that well.
Neil Robertson, 4.
Extra 4 points, but where Neil has to put the cue ball, can he avoid the cannon on either the red that's on the top cushion or the black on the other side if he takes this red as a pot? That's what he's looking at. He thinks he's decided that he might not get the cannon if he plays it from the yellow spot. Didn't in fact play the pot at all because of that.
John's got the same problem. If he takes this red on, where's the cue ball? It's going to be going close to the black. Don't want to miss the red and cannon the black, leave the cue ball down there.
Needs that to slow up. It's not safe. Chance for Neil Robertson. And right behind that, as you can see there, this is definitely available. Good news is it's on. Bad news is you can't drop in on the back. So we've got to play it with a bit of pace.
One.
Yeah, it wasn't absolutely straightforward for position, that. Wow, and this is a bit of cueing if he takes the pink on. Some pressure on this.
Yeah, straight down to it, didn't hesitate, fully committed. And 5-1 down. Well, I was going to say, has he got match ball?
Yeah, he concentrated so much on that pot that was difficult. He left himself a little tricky. Oh, but it's there. And what an unbelievable turnaround. I mean, things in snooker never cease to amaze, and this is another one. I couldn't have backed him in bottle washers at 5-1 down. How he's turned this match around is beyond anyone's comprehension. Turned into the real Neil Robertson. And this has been a stunning performance against someone who's done very little wrong. I certainly feel sorry for John Higgins. He's played really well and played his part in this match. Make no mistake. But Neil Robertson's turnaround in form has been sensational.
14.
Wasn't even in the tournament a few days ago. He is now. An incredible turnaround in this match. His cueing, his potting, his break building, everything. I mean, he's
17.
knocking everything in. And if this is what the Masters 2025 is going to be like, you're in for a treat, people, because what a match we started with. An absolute humdinger. Brilliant, absolute brilliant display from both players. Shake hands, and Neil Robertson, well, standing ovation from this crowd, and why not? One of the best comebacks you'll ever see. How has he done that? The Aussie wins by 6 frames to 5.